By now, you might be asking yourself, if all of these fallen angels are basically just sophisticated vibrational patterns within the cosmos, where do the images and behavior that we associate with them come from? How does that translate to the experiences that some people have in mystical or paranormal encounters when they see a demon and it has the appearance of a horned figure? And where do we get these ideas of the devil, even in cartoons, of the horns and the tail and the pitchfork? How do we get that image from this vibrational system that seems to be, incorporeal to the point that, or is incorporeal to the point that there shouldn't be any kind of physical manifestation that would be consistent? Well, the fact of the matter is, it all comes from the archetypes, and this is part of what we've been talking about, with it filtering through the fallen human faculties of perception. Now, in the earliest days of religion, you had animism, right? Everything was considered to be spiritually alive, and it turns out that's actually true, but that's a subject for another day. The reality is that as animism evolved, so did the sophistication of these patterns that people put into them. And eventually we got to a point where there was one primordial god and one primordial goddess. And of course, why do people develop religion? Well, it's built into their DNA, right? And you might say, well, not today. There's a lot of people that don't believe in religion. Well, they've just made science their religion. And you'll see in a minute how they relate. Now, go back to this primordial god and goddess. Well, two things you needed for survival was reproduction, health, and the ability to sustain yourself with good food. So the god of the hunt was the one that would bring the food in, and the goddess would be the one that would bring fertility. Her image was, of course, the large breasts and the, very pregnant look, while the god of the hunt had the horns, and even a shaman would put the horns of an animal on in ritual to be able to assure the success of a good hunt. But it's always the case with conquering religion. The gods of the conquered become the demons of the conqueror. We're seeing that today now with science, because now science is taking over against religions like Christianity. And so now Christianity and Jesus have become the demonic entity to the logic and rationality of the scientific world. Science shouldn't even concern itself with what religious people do, but yet they have a vendetta against us. Many of them do, and they're always coming after me on this channel, it seems. Where does it come from? Well, that god of the hunt became an archetypal demon when the new religion took over. And that's where we get the image of the devil.